The state government could be sued for failing to protect a 12-year-old girl who was sold for sex while in its care. The child's family is seeking legal advice following the release of a damning report into how the case was allowed to happen.
The Premier was back on the hustings, this time for the upper house, but he was under pressure to explain the government's failure to protect a child in state care. David Bartlett has given his full backing to Child Protection Minister Lynn Thorpe, despite a damning report on the 12-year-old ward who was sold for sex.
I've given her the responsibility to solve some of these siloing problems that we've seen in the past, because she has not only the skills, but as we saw yesterday, very much the passion.
What an appalling standard when the Premier of the day thinks his minister has done a magnificent job while this sort of thing has gone on under her watch.
In his report released yesterday, the Commissioner for Children found police, education and child protection authorities were aware the girl was at risk and should have acted. But more than half of Paul Mason's recommendations have been either totally or partly rejected by the government, while one included referring the girl to an interstate lawyer to discuss a possible damages payout. The Premier isn't ruling out compensation.
Any child, as we've done by the way, with some hundreds of claims now of children in state care, are compensating and apologising for past wrongdoings.
Lawyers say litigation is likely.
It would be some sort of civil litigation as to a breach of duty, basically, in terms of the care that the child was given.
Lawyers have suggested a damages claim could run into millions of dollars and could be extended to cover the girl's family. A number of lawyers have already offered to act pro bono in the case. If pursued, the case would be heard in the Supreme Court, which would have to consider a number of factors.
Exactly what responsibility the department had, how they checked on where they'd placed the child, and whether there's been any breach of any duty that they had.
The girl's mother and pimp, Gary Devine, are in prison, serving 10-year sentences for selling her. Tamara Glumac, ABC News.